Judges, chapters 12 through 14. And the men of Ephraim assembled themselves, and passed on to the north, and said to Jephthah, Wherefore didst thou go over to fight with the children of Ammon, and didst not call us to go with thee? We will burn thy house over thee with fire. And Jephthah said to them, I and my people and the children of Ammon were very much engaged in war, and I called for you, and ye did not save me out of their hand. And I saw that thou wert no helper, and I put my life in my hand, and passed on to the sons of Ammon, and the Lord delivered them into my hand. And wherefore are ye come against me this day to fight with me? And Jephthah gathered all the men of Gilead, and fought with Ephraim. And the men of Gilead smote Ephraim, because they that were escaped of Ephraim said, Ye are of Gilead, in the midst of Ephraim, and in the midst of Manasseh. And Gilead took the fords of Jordan before Ephraim. And they escaped of Ephraim, and said to them, Let us go over. And the men of Gilead said, Art thou an Ephrathite? And he said, No. And they said to him, Say now, Stachys. And he had not rightly pronounced it so. And they took him, and slew him at the fords of Jordan. And there fell at that time of Ephraim 42,000. And Jephthah judged Israel 6 years. And Jephthah the Gileadite died, and was buried in his city Gilead. And after him, Abai son of Bethlehem judged Israel. And he had 30 sons and 30 daughters, whom he sent forth. And he brought in 30 daughters for his sons from without, and he judged Israel 7 years. And Abai's son died, and was buried in Bethlehem. And after him Elam of Zabulon judged Israel 10 years. And Elam of Zabulon died, and was buried in Elam, in the land of Zabulon. And after him Abdon, the son of Elel, the Pharathonite, judged Israel. And he had 40 sons and 30 grandsons, that rode up 70 colts, and he judged Israel 8 years. And Abdon, the son of Elel, the Pharathonite, died, and was buried in Pharathon, in the land of Ephraim, in the mount of Amalek. And the children of Israel yet again committed iniquity before the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years. And there was a man of Serah, the family of the kindred of Dan, and his name was Manoah, and his wife was barren, and bore not. And an angel of the Lord appeared to the woman, and said to her, Behold, thou art barren, and hast not borne, yet thou shalt conceive a son. And now be very cautious, and drink no wine nor strong drink, and eat no unclean thing. For behold, thou art with child, and thou shalt bring forth a son, and there shall come no razor upon his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to save Israel from the hand of the Philistines. And the woman went in, and spoke to her husband, saying, A man of God came to me, and his appearance was of an angel of God, very dreadful, and I did not ask him whence he was, and he did not tell me his name. And he said to me, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bring forth a son, and now drink no wine nor strong drink, and eat no unclean thing, for the child shall be holy to God from the womb until the day of his death. And Manoah prayed to the Lord, and said, I pray thee, O Lord, my Lord, concerning the man of God whom thou sentest, let him now come to us once more, and teach us what we shall do to the child about to be born. And the Lord heard the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came yet again to the woman. And she sat in the field, and Manoah her husband was not with her. And the woman hasted, and ran, and brought word to her husband, and said to him, Behold, the man who came in the other day to me has appeared to me. And Manoah arose, and followed his wife, and came to the man, and said to him, Art thou the man that spoke to the woman? And the angel said, I am. And Manoah said, Now shall thy word come to pass. What shall be the ordering of the child, in our dealings with him? And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, Of all things concerning which I spoke to the woman, she shall beware. She shall eat of nothing that comes from the vine yielding wine, nor let her drink wine or strong liquor, and let her not eat anything unclean. All things that I have charged her she shall observe. And Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, Let us detain thee here, and prepare before thee a kid of the goats. And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, If thou shouldest detain me, I will not eat of thy bread. If thou wouldest offer a whole burnt offering, to the Lord shalt thou offer it. For Manoah knew not that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, What is thy name, that, when thy word shall come to pass, we may glorify thee? And the angel of the Lord said to him, Why dost thou thus ask after my name, whereas it is wonderful? And Manoah took a kid of the goats and its meat offering, and offered it on the rock to the Lord. And the angel wrought a distinct work, and Manoah and his wife were looking on. And it came to pass, when the flame went up above the altar toward heaven, that the angel of the Lord went up in the flame. And Manoah and his wife were looking, and they fell upon their face to the earth. And the angel appeared no more to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that this was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said to his wife, "We shall surely die, because we have seen God." But his wife said to him, "If the Lord were pleased to slay us, he would not have received of our hand a whole burnt offering and a meat offering. And he would not have shown us all these things, neither would he have caused us to hear all these things, as at this time." And the woman brought forth a son, and she called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to go out with him in the camp of Dan, and between Sariah and Eshtaol. And Samson went down to Thamnathah, and saw a woman in Thamnathah of the daughters of the Philistines. And he went up and told his father and his mother, and said, "I have seen a woman in Thamnathah of the daughters of the Philistines. And now take her to me for a wife." And his father and his mother said to him, "Are there no daughters of thy brethren? And is there not a woman of all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines?" And Samson said to his father, "Take her from me, for she is right in my eyes." And his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord, that he sought to be revenged on the Philistines. And at the time the Philistines lorded it over Israel. And Samson and his father and his mother went down to Thamnathah, and he came to the vineyard of Thamnathah. And behold, a young lion roared in meeting him. And the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, and he crushed him, as he would have crushed a kid of the goats. And there was nothing in his hands, and he told not his father and his mother what he had done. And they went down and spoke to the woman, and she was pleasing in the eyes of Samson. And after some time he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, a swarm of bees and honey were in the mouth of the lion. And he took it into his hands, and went on eating. And he went to his father and his mother, and gave to them, and they did eat. But he told them not that he took the honey out of the mouth of the lion. And his father went down to the woman, and Samson made there a banquet for 7 days, for so the young men are used to do. And it came to pass, when they saw him, that they took 30 guests, and they were with him. And Samson said to them, "I propound you a riddle. If ye will indeed tell it me, and discover it within the 7 days of the feast, I will give you 30 sheets and 30 changes of raiment. And if ye cannot tell it me, ye shall give me 30 napkins and 30 changes of apparel." And they said to him, "Propound thy riddle, and we will hear it." And he said to them, "Meat came forth of the eater, and sweetness out of the strong. And they could tell not the riddle for 3 days. And it came to pass on the 4th day, that they said to the wife of Samson, Deceive now thy husband, and let him tell thee the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire. Did ye invite us to do us violence?" And Samson's wife wept before him, and said, "Thou dost but hate me, and lovest me not. For the riddle which thou hast propounded to the children of my people, thou hast not told me." And Samson said to her, "If I have not told it to my father and my mother, shall I tell it to thee?" And she wept before him the 7 days, during which their banquet lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she troubled him, and she told it to the children of her people. And the men of the city said to him on the 7th day, before sunrise, "What is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion?" And Samson said to them, "If ye had not plowed with my heifer, ye would not have known my riddle." And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him powerfully, and went down to Ascalon, and destroyed the inhabitants 30 men, and took their garments, and gave the changes of raiment to them that told the riddle. And Samson was very angry, and went up to the house of his father. And the wife of Samson was given to one of his friends, with whom he was on terms of friendship. Psalm 76, 77 in Hebrew, verses 1 through 9. For the end, for Iddathan, a psalm of Asaph. I cried to the Lord with my voice, yea, my voice was addressed to God, and he gave heed to me. In the day of mine affliction I earnestly sought the Lord, even with my hands by night before him, and I was not deceived. My soul refused to be comforted. I remembered God, and rejoiced. I poured out my complaint, and my soul fainted. Pause. All mine enemies set a watch against me. I was troubled, and spoke not. I considered the days of old, and remembered ancient years, and I meditated. I communed with my heart by night, and diligently searched my spirit, saying, Will the Lord cast off forever? And will he be well pleased no more? Will he cut off his mercy forever, even forever and ever? Proverbs chapter 15, verses 29 through 33a. God is far from the ungodly, but he hearkens to the prayers of the righteous. Better are small receipts with righteousness than abundant fruits with unrighteousness. Or will he shut up his compassion to the heart of man think justly, that his steps may be rightly ordered of God? The eye that sees rightly rejoices the heart, and a good report fattens the bones. He that rejects instruction hates himself, but he that minds reproofs loves his soul. The fear of the Lord is instruction and wisdom. The humble advances in glory, and the highest honor will correspond therewith. The Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 5, verses 1 through 16. And it came to pass that, as the people pressed upon him to hear the word of God, he stood by the lake of Gennesaret. And he saw 2 ships standing by the lake, but the fishermen were gone out of them, and were washing their nets. And he entered into one of the ships, which was Simon's, and prayed him that he would thrust out a little from the land. And he sat down, and taught the people out of the ship. Now when he left speaking, he said unto Simon, Launch out into the deep, and let down your nets for a draught. And Simon answering said unto him, Master, we have toiled all the night, and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down the net. And when they had this done, they enclosed a great multitude of fishes, and their net brake. And they beckoned unto their partners, which were in the other ship, that they should come and help them. And they came, and filled both ships, so that they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord. For he was astonished, and all that were with him, at the draught of the fishes which they had taken. And so was also James and John, the sons of Zebedee, which were partners with Simon. And Jesus said unto Simon, Fear not, from henceforth thou shalt catch men. And when they had brought their ships to land, they forsook all, and followed him. And it came to pass, when he was in a certain city, behold, a man full of leprosy, who seeing Jesus fell on his face, and besought him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. And he put forth his hand, and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean. And immediately the leprosy departed from him. And he charged him to tell no man, but go, and show thyself to the priest, and offer for thy cleansing, according as Moses commanded, for a testimony unto them. But so much the more went there a fame abroad of him, and great multitudes came together to hear, and to be healed by him of their infirmities. And he withdrew himself into the wilderness, and prayed.